8.2? Well, it is the Dewey Decimal Classification for fairy tale books. When you visit the public libraries, do keep a lookout for the fairy tale books and you will see 398.2 on the spine label. Today's session is about Dreams Unveiled, and we have three wonderful storytellers with us today to share fascinating stories and whisk us away on extraordinary adventures. Okay, so let us go through the house rules of the session today. Please ensure that your audio is not muted, so you're able to hear the speakers. Right now, if I'm too loud or too soft, please feel free to adjust the volume accordingly to what is comfortable for you. So there was also music being played earlier. So if you're unable to hear the music, please log out and log in again. Attendance will also be taken during the session. Kindly change your screen name to the name as registered on Eventbrite. This session is also being recorded by Storytelling Association Singapore, and images will be used for publicity purposes. So please do not record this session. You may take screenshots of this session and share them on social media. You may tag us at Public Library SG on Instagram and on Facebook. So do remember to mute your mic as our storytellers share their stories. To allow everyone to pay attention to the stories, the chat function will be disabled. We will let you know if it's enabled for interaction. Next, let me share with you on how to do the silent applause to show our appreciation for the storytellers after they share their story. So can everyone actually see me on screen right now? So if you can, please put your hands up and do the action together with me. So I'm actually showing how to do the sign language for applause. Okay, great job, everybody. Do remember to do the silent applause after the storytellers end their stories. You can also click on the clap function under the reaction button to show your appreciation. Okay, so Storytelling Association Singapore began in 2006 and is a place for the appreciation of storytelling, to nurture and support the growth of professional storytellers, and to share information on storytelling events in Singapore. So without further ado, let me introduce our storytellers to you. So today's session, as mentioned, is on Dreams Unveiled. Are you ready for an amazing adventure? Today, we're going to explore a world where dreams come to life and imagination knows no bounds. Anything is possible in the realm of dreams. So to start us off, we will have three storytellers to entertain and engage you today. Anamika, Suren, and Sheila will be sharing their stories. So let us meet them accordingly. Okay. So our first teller for today is Anamika, who is an educator working with children in schools, libraries, and festivals locally and internationally. She nurtures children's creativity by bringing stories to life through role-playing, ensuring engaging and holistic learning. So without further ado, let's actually welcome Anamika on stage. Oh, sorry, Anamika, I think you're muted.
Na 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 na. When my story starts at the bottom of a mountain, where a very lazy farmer, Ramu, used to live. Well,
I can't hear.
well, I hope you can hear me now. Well, let me start the story for you. A farmer named Ramu used to live under a mountain.
Hello.
He had lots of land under his name, and there was lush green grass all around. But Ramu was very lazy. He was not doing anything with his farm. All he would do is sit around and dream and sleep. His friends kept telling him, Ramu, you don't have to do a lot of work. Your soil is so rich. You just need to put some seeds and it will grow. But Ramu would always say, yeah. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. Tomorrow for sure. Not today. Maybe tomorrow. Well, tomorrow never came. But he was very lucky because his friends are very good. They always made sure he had food to eat. And one day, a friend of his gave him a pot of yogurt. He was so happy. He thought, let me eat this. It looks so tasty. But then he had an idea. He thought to himself, maybe I should go and sell this yogurt and then I'll get some money. Yes, I should do that. And quickly he took his yogurt and he went out of the house to walk to the market. But the breeze was so nice. And the tree, under the tree, the shadow, the shade was so inviting. And so he thought, let me just lie down just for 1 or 2 minutes and then I'll go to the market. And so he put that pot right next to him and he laid down and he closed his eyes and he started to daydream about what he's going to do with the money. Well, he thought, once I'll sell that, I'll get some money and then I know what I'll do. I'll buy some chicken and then they'll go all around in my farm. Could you help him? Could you sound out? What do you think chickens sound like? Could you help me? And it will be running around. And then you know what it will give me? Eggs. Maybe 1, maybe 2. And then I'll go and I'll sell them in the market. Oh, and then, what should I get? When I'll have enough money, I'll go and buy myself some goats. Oh, some goats. And then they would go, can I hear the sound? What kind of sound did goats make? Meh, meh, meh. Oh, and then I'm going to milk those goats because you know what? Goat milk is very healthy. I know you don't know that, but they would be very healthy. And then he would milk those goats and he would have the eggs from the chicken and he would go and sell them and he'll get even more money. And then he'll buy himself a cow. Oh yes, he would get a cow. And then now he would milk the cow. And what sound does a cow make? Can you help me? Moo, moo. Oh, and he would start milking the cow. He'd get milk from the goat. He'd get the eggs from the chicken. Oh, and then he'll have a lot of money. And with all that money, he thought he would get, oh, you know what he would get? He would get a house. Yes, a big house. And then, oh, when he walks in that village, everyone will say, oh, Ramu is so rich. Oh, he has so much money. He has a big house. He has a farm with all these animals. Oh, he is so rich. And you know what? Girls are going to come to him and they would want to marry him. Oh, maybe he thought, and then I'll find myself a nice bride and I'll get married. Oh, it would be so nice. And you know what? In my marriage, I'm going to dance. Are you all ready to dance with Ramu? Are you ready? Oh, ding chicka ding chicka ding ding ding, ding chicka ding chicka ding ding ding, ding chicka ding chicka ding ding ding, ding chicka ding chicka. Wah! Oh, you know what? He was dreaming, but he was really dancing. And when he went, wow, oh no, the yogurt, the pot of yogurt rolled down and broke. And the yogurt, before he could even look at it, it had all gone down into the ground. Oh no, oh no, his dream of having all those animals went under the ground just like his yogurt. Oh, Rama was so sad. But his friends came along and he told them what happened. And then he realized that if you're dreaming of something, you have to work hard. Because if you don't, then your dream will just stay as a dream and it will never become a reality. And from that day on, Ramu made sure that he did not daydream but worked hard on his farm. So I hope you will all work really hard.
Thank you, Anamika, for bringing us through a tale of Ramu and his animal friends. So, do you remember the moral, children? It's about working hard and on the farm to make sure you can get what you want. Yeah, so can we all show her a big round of applause and chat reactions as well? So we can all do the sign language for applause. Lovely. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Anamika, for bringing us through that. So next up, let me just share my screen once again. Next up, we have Suren. Suren always loved listening to different genres of storytelling since he was young. He loves listening to stories and even more when he tells the stories. So I wonder what he has in store for us today. So before we dive right in, Suren has a few things to share about his story.
Hello, children. Can you see me? Well, then I got to tell you that about the story that I'm going to share is very unique or very different from others because it's the setting. It took place in Singapore, but I'm afraid that you will not recognize the places or things that I'm going to show you because we don't see that very often or not at all. Let me start with the first slide now. Can I have the first slide, please? Now, boys and girls, you can never guess what is this, but this is an outdoor toilet. There is no electricity. There is no flushing toilet, but just a basin right below the toilet. You do your poo business, and the next morning, you see the gentleman there, he will just pull the basin out and replace with an empty basin. Now, let's look at the next slide. This is a well. Okay, it collects rainwater from the sky. It fills up, and you have to put in a pail attached to a rope, and then you draw the water out. And then you drink the water. It was an experience which I'm going to share with you soon. Next slide, please. You will never guess this building. This building is actually a cinema. Yes, it's a cinema. Okay, it can take in about maybe 300 people to watch a movie. A far cry from your golden village. Okay, then let's look at the next picture, the slide. This is the wayang. The wayang is a Chinese opera performance, usually performed during the ghost month or the 7th month in the Chinese calendar. Okay, now that you've seen all these pictures and slides, I would like to start my story. Hello, children. I was 5 years old. No. Now, if I can recollect, I was 7 years old. I came back from school and my mom told me not to enter the house. She said, you stay put outside. I kept knocking on the door. I said, why aren't you letting me in? You see, my brother and sister, they have got chicken pox all over their faces. And I could hear them crying inside the house. My mom came out, took a small luggage, and told me that I was going to my grandmother's house in the kampong. She said, you cannot stay in this house because otherwise you'll get the chicken pox as well. And before I could answer her or reason with her, she dragged me to the main bus stop, brought me on the bus, and then off we went to the kampong. There, we were greeted by my grandmother. Now, my grandmother is Parvati, but she loves when the grandchildren call her Paru. Now, Paru came down and said, oh, my dear Suren, you have to stay with us for 2 weeks. You don't have to worry now. I was about to cry because I do not like the kampong because I'm a town boy. I stay in a flat because I have heard horror stories about the kampong from my brother and sister. And before I could say anything, my mom just whisked off and disappeared, and I was staying with my grandmother. So my grandmother said, you look very tired. First, let me serve you some tea. So I had a cup of tea, and then she said, oh no, you are very upset. I said, yes, I am. I want to follow Amma because mother should not have left me here. I don't like the kampong. I am a modern boy. I don't stay in a kampong. And my grandmother burst out laughing and she said, you enjoy your tea. And just like that, the day came to an end. And then she said, do you like to have dinner? I said, no, I'm quite full. Then she said, okay, then we are going to go to bed. As we entered the bedroom, I was shocked to see the whole bed covered with a mosquito net. At that time, I did not know it was a mosquito net. The kampong people always have to put up the nets, covering their bed. It's high up and they'll pull it down so that naughty mosquitoes would not fly into that place and suck the people's blood. So I said, okay, this is fine. But I was still quite scared. But after some time, grandmothers being grandmothers, she started to share a story. The Puli Mama, the Uncle Tiger. It was hilarious. And before I knew it, I slept. But somehow I'm so used to waking up at 5 in the morning. So I shook my grandmother. I said, I have to pee and poo. And my grandmother said, come, let's go. So I ran to the back door, opened the door, and the whole of the outside was in complete darkness. I ran back to my grandmother. It's so dark. And my grandmother smilingly took 2 kerosene lamps with her, one for me and one for her, as she led me to the toilet. Now, you saw the picture of the toilet earlier. No. There is no electricity. There is no attached water taps, nothing. You just have to go in, squat, do your business, let your poo sink into the basin, and that's it. I was horrified. My grandmother said, I will not close the door. Look, I'm standing right here. For the first time in a long time, I allowed an adult to see me having my poo, because I was so scared if she leaves the toilet. So after the business, luckily the sun rise, and so I followed her back to the house. As I was walking back, I noticed something different that I've never seen before. But I just ignored it and I went into the house. I have to wash my hands. I just did my poo. And my grandmother said, go and wash your hands. Use the little tub, scoop the water up. I said, where is the tap? I need a tap. And she said, we don't have a tap. We have well to collect water from the rain, from the sky. And I said, oh my, that's going to be difficult for me. And my grandmother told me, no, 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 no. You will get used to it. And true enough, after some time, I got used to it and I really enjoyed the whole experience. But of course, I was not allowed to draw the water. I was only 7 years old. I'm only allowed to bring an empty pail. Then my grandmother would pour the water into the pail. And then once it's filled up, we will bring it into the house. And I was very fascinated with this. Kampong has its own magic, unlike the flats. So, and then I told my grandmother, can you boil the water? Because I need to drink. And she said, no, 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 no. Just drink the water from the well. It is drinking water. And for the first time, when I tasted it, it was so cold and it was delicious, unlike the water that I get from my tap, that I get from my flat. And I was very fascinated. And I kept drinking and drinking and drinking. And then it happened. I had to pee. And I told my grandmother, I cannot go to the toilet alone. I'm afraid. Because you see, the toilet is outside the house. You have to walk there. And my grandmother said, oh boy, I have not had a young boy as a visitor for a long time. This is going to be a challenge. And she brought me to the toilet again. I exposed myself in front of her in the toilet because I was so afraid if the door is closed, even though now it was day. And then I started to realize the kampong has very unique or very new different or very different activities that I am not used to. One was the cinema. You know, as a town boy, you know, my cinemas in the town is air conditioned. Oh, and we have beautiful, and you buy chocolates, cookies before we enter, or the nuts, various nuts before we enter the cinema hall. But this cinema, it was not air conditioned. They had fans moving and moving, and you can hear in the midst of the dialogue where the actors are talking, you can hear like a helicopter. But it was interesting. That night, my uncle, 3 uncles, they brought this little nephew to the cinema, and it started to rain. But you see, because I'm a small boy, I don't like to dangle my legs. I folded my legs on the chair. What happened in the kampong was, as the rain fell, the rain came down, water seeped into the cinema. And because it was a kampong, people love to watch the cinema by removing their footwear, their slippers, their sandals. And the water came into the cinema and started moving all the slippers and the floppies away. In the midst of the movie showing, everyone was saying, where's my sleeper? Where's my sleeper? And then I realized the sleepers were were floating away. I burst out laughing. I quickly jumped on my uncle's back and they all searched for their sleepers. Amazingly, once they have found their sleepers, they all sat back and continued watching the cinema. I could never imagine such things happening in the town, but it was hilarious when I think about it today. And of course, that was also the month, the ghost month. And they had many taukees in the house, in the village. I'm sorry, taukees are rich Chinese men. They would really spend a lot of money putting up these stage shows. We call it the wayang. You saw the wayang picture earlier. Oh, it was such delightful to see these performers. They are beautiful costumes and their beautiful voices just soaring out to the whole kampong. And just like that, time went by, and 2 weeks later, My mother came back. Good news, good news. Both my children are away. The chicken pox is gone. You can come back. Now I was a bit uncomfortable. Then at that moment I realized, oh no, I've become the kampung boy. Will I like my town again? But you can't say no to mother. Pack up, let's go. So I hugged my grandmother, and my grandmother said, this place might not be here for long. I hope you'll remember it. Then I told my grandmother, you should visit us in the town. Nah, I love my kampung, my grandmother said. Actually, I also loved my kampung, my grandmother's kampung. Thank you.
Thank you, Suren, for the heartwarming story and bring us back to the time of the kampongs. So it's so hilarious to hear about the different aspects of living in that time and hear about the disappearing slippers when the water seeped into the movie theaters. So children, I hope you all have enjoyed that. Let's all show our appreciation by giving him a big round of applause and chat reactions. Thank you. Thank you, Suren. Thank you, everyone. So awesome. Last but certainly not least, we have Sheila. Let me just share my screen once more. All right. So last but not least, we have Sheila who will be taking the stage. Sheila Wee has been a professional storyteller since 1999. As she helped to pioneer the movement to revive the use of storytelling, she has been described as the godmother of Singapore storytelling today. Without further ado, may we welcome Sheila onto the stage.
Hello. Hi, children. Hi. Oh, I'm going to share a story about a boy. Are there some boys out there? Put your thumbs up if you're a boy. Ah, I see some boys. Are you 4 years old? Or 5? 6? 7? Well, this boy in my story is older than you. He is 18 years old, almost a grown-up. Now, this boy, his name is Jack. And Jack had a favorite thing to do. Jack loved to dream. He dreamed of this, he dreamed of that, but most of all, he dreamed of finding his fortune, of finding gold and money and jewels. He would say to his mum, "Mum, one day I'm going to bring you gold. I'm going to bring you money. I'm going to bring you jewels." "All right, Jack, all right. But can you help me with the cleaning now?" But every day, Jack would dream of making his fortune. And after a while, his mum got fed up. Does your mum ever get fed up with you? His mum folded her arms and said, "Jack, Jack, Jack, stop dreaming. If you want to make your fortune, go out and get it." "Oh, all right," said Jack. "I'm going." And Jack went. He went jiggity jog, up the hill and down the hill, jiggity jog, up the hill and down the hill. Can you walk with Jack? Are you ready? Jiggity jog, up the hill and down the hill, jiggity jog, up the hill and down the hill. I'm going to make my fortune. I'm going to find my fortune. But just then, he saw an animal. Oh, it was a big cow. Ooh. "Where are you going, Jack?" "Oh, I'm going to make my fortune." "Ooh, can I come with you?" "Sure you can. Follow along." And so Jack and the cow set off. Jiggity jog, up the hill and down the hill. Jiggity jog, up the hill and down the hill. But there was another animal sitting there. It was Meh, a goat. Meh, where are you going? Oh, I'm going to make my fortune, and so's the cow. May I come with you? Of course you can, said Jack. Let's go. And off they went, jiggity jog, up the hill and down the hill, jiggity jog, up the hill and down the hill. What was that? Meow. Oh, a cat. A cat. Oh, what a cute cat. May I come with you, Jack? Of course, you're welcome, said Jack. Follow along behind the goat. And off they went. Jiggity jog, up the hill and down the hill. Jiggity jog, up the hill and down the hill. And who should they meet but a cockerel. Oh, what a splendid cockerel. Do you want to come with me? Yes, I do, said the cockerel. Well, come along, you're welcome. We can all go together. And so they went. Let's go. Jiggity jog, up the hill and down the hill. Jiggity jog, up the hill and down the hill. They walked and they walked and they walked all day until the sun went down and it was nighttime. And when it was nighttime, they found themselves in a deep, dark forest. And Jack was a bit scared. And so was the cow and the goat and the cat and the cockerel. They were all a bit scared. So they went jiggity jog, jiggity jog, jiggity jog, jiggity jog, jiggity jog. Meow, said the cat. Where are we going to sleep tonight? I don't know, said Jack. But just then the cockerel said, cock-a-doodle, look over there. And they all looked and they saw a light between the trees. Oh, maybe that's a house, said Jack. Come, let's go. But be quiet. We should be careful. We don't know if good people live there or bad people live there. And so they went very, very quietly. Can you go quietly? Jiggity jog, jiggity jog, jiggity jog, jiggity jog, jiggity jog. And they came to the house and there was one window that was filled with light. Oh, and they could hear voices, people talking inside. Jack said, shh, 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 shh. I'm going to peep in and see. And so Jack stood on his tippy toes and he looked in the window. He came down. He said to the animals, oh, I think they are bad men in there. They are robbers. The table is full of gold and money and jewels. And they are talking about how they stole it from people. Oh. Now, Jack may have liked to dream and dream and dream, but actually he was quite smart. And he said to the animals, oh, I have a plan. Let me tell you my plan. And he, oh, they found a way to scare off the robbers. Right, said Jack to the cow. You stand under the window so your head and your horns can be seen. And the cow stood under the window. And then Jack, he lifted the goat. Oh gosh, the goat was heavy. He lifted the goat onto the cow's back. And so now out of the window, there was one head with horns, two heads with horns. Right, said Jack. Cat, you go on top of the goat. Oh, now there were 1, 2, 3 heads showing in the window. Cockerel, can you fly up on top of cat? And flap, 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 the cockerel flew up and landed on top of the cat. Now, if those robbers look out the window, what will they see? 1, 2, 3, 4 heads. Maybe they'll get scared, but let's make sure they get scared. Jack said to the animals, and can you be the animals? When I count to 3, can you make your noises as noisily as you can? Now, cow, you moo loudly. Goat, you ba meh loudly. Cat, you meow as loud as you can. And cockerel, you cock-a-doodle-doo as loud as you can. Children, can you help? And Jack said, 1, 2, 3, and they all went moo, meh, cock-a-doodle, meow. And the 4 robbers looked up, and they looked out of the window and, it's a monster out there. It's got 4 heads and 2 sets of horns. Oh, I'm getting away. Oh, I'm not staying. Come on, let's run away. And those robbers, they ran away out of the back door of the house. They ran and they ran and they ran. They were so scared. Well, the cock flew down. The cat climbed down. Jack lifted the goat back to the floor, but they waited a little while because they didn't know whether the robbers would come back. But when they didn't come back, they opened the door and went into the house, and all that gold, piles of money, and all those sparkling jewels. Oh, Jack opened his bag and put everything inside. And then they all curled up on the floor and went to sleep. When the sun came out in the morning, Jack said, come on, I've made my fortune. Let's go home. You can all come and live with me. And so they set off home. Are you ready to go home? Jiggity jog, up the hill and down the hill. Jiggity jog, up the hill and down the hill. But they came to a village. And they looked around, and all the people in the village were very sad. What's the matter? Oh, robbers came and they took our money, our gold and our jewels. Oh, said Jack, I can help. And he opened up his bag, and the people looked in and said, oh, that's my ring. Oh, yes, I lost $50. That's my gold. And the people only took what they belonged to them. Oh, I'm happy I could help, said Jack. Come on, let's go home. And they went jiggity jog, up the hill and down the hill. Jiggity jog, up the hill and down the hill. But they came to many villages. And in each village, the people had lost things to the robber. And in each village, Jack opened his bag and people took what they had lost. But when they had gone through so many villages, they couldn't find any more. There was still gold and money and jewels in the bag. I think we can go home now. Maybe this is for us. And so they set off home as fast as they could. Jiggity jog, up the hill and down the hill. Jiggity jog, up the hill and down the hill. And at last they arrived back at Jack's house. And there was Jack's mother digging in the garden. Jack, you're home. I've missed you. Oh, I missed you too, Mum. And I've made my fortune. And he opened up the bag and his mother looked in and said, oh, where did you get that? Robbers, he said. But it doesn't belong to you, said Jack's mother. But we've given it all back to the people, but we couldn't find who this belongs to. So I think it's for you. And his mother said, okay, I will take a little bit of the money and 1 bar of gold and that nice necklace, but the rest you must share with our neighbors. And now, Jack, you've made your fortune. It's time to get to work. And who are all these animals? Oh, these are my friends. They help me. Can they stay, Mum, please? If they're your friends, they're very welcome. And so Jack put the bag of gold aside and started digging in the garden. He dug and he dug and he dug. And he thought and he thought and he thought. It's good to make your fortune, but sometimes you have to work too. And he's told his mum that. And she said, Jack, you've finally grown up. Now you are a man. And Jack smiled and said, yes. And that's the story that comes from long, long ago and far, far away in England, called Jack and the Robbers.
Thank you, Sheila, for the lovely tale. Let's all give her a big round of applause. So it's amazing how Jack and his animal friends, the cow, the goat, the cat, and the cockerel, work together to get the goal and share his fortune with those around him. And not forgetting to also put in the hard work too. Children, it was such a nice story, wasn't it? Let's show how much we loved it through one more round of applause for Sheila. All right. So a big thank you to our storytellers, Sheila, Suren, and Anamika once again. We hope that you have had a great time listening to the stories. We have more 398.2 Storytelling Festival 2024 sessions till 10th November, which is this Sunday. Do keep a lookout on the Eventbrite page. The registration link will also be provided in the chat below. Do especially register for our grand finale at Central Public Library from 9 to 10 November 2024 from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. There are storytelling sessions not just in English, but in Chinese, Malay, and Tamil too. So we'd love to see you there. So let me also pull out my slides once again. So be sure to also check out these recommended fairy tale books. You can find these books and more at the fairy tale section in the public libraries. And the call number is none other than our favorite number, 398.2. So just to share a little bit more on these 3 books today. So the first book is The Magic Paintbrush. So this magical folktale tells of a boy who awakes from a dream with a paintbrush that brings his drawings to life. He paints tools, cows, and food for his village and teaches a greedy emperor a lesson. The second book that I would like to share today is actually a retelling of an Indian folktale of a poor young boy who dreams of owning a drum, and when he receives a magic stick, he is able to create his own good luck. So I won't share too much, but do check out this book in our public libraries. So our third book is also Maya and the Turtle. So Maya is born into poverty and is also all that she has ever known. But she doesn't allow that to stop her from caring for her father and others as best as she can. So follow Maya as she finds a little turtle and cares for him, and how this small little act changes her destiny. So if you like, I'll just leave a few seconds on this slide. So if you'd like to take a photo or screenshot it for future use, and you can actually search it up on our NLB catalog to find out where these books are also available in the libraries. And I think there's also some copies that are also available as an ebook version as well. Okay, all right. So we have reached to the end of today's storytelling session. Thank you everyone for joining us. So can I invite Anamika to just share a little bit more?
Hi everyone. Okay, so this is a feedback code. We would like you to give us feedback on this. Ask your mummies and daddies to scan this. Once you scan it, you'll get a template, and look at the card that you can make out of that template. See? Yes, can you see the video? So if you give us feedback, I will do it next year as well, and probably we can improve on it. And we really need you to give us feedback. And you know what? You don't have to just scan the QR code. I think the chat is open now, so you can give us reactions. You can give us emojis, love, heart. So go for it. Stella, is the chat open? Can you check that?
Yes,
Yes, it's
the
open.
chat is open.
Okay, great. So tell us, what did you like about the stories? We'll leave this on for some time so that you can scan it. And you can make these beautiful cards. You can make it for mommy, daddy, or for yourself as well, or your friends. Thank you, Noor.
If you don't know how to use the chat reactions, you can also give us a round of applause.
Yes, you can do that as well. I'm sure these days all the children know how to do emojis. Come on. Okay, and messages as well.
There are important, the link that I've put into the chat does also have the feedback form. It has links to all of the other things that we're talking about, so you can use that link as well.
Yes. Thank you for that. I hope you all had enjoyed yourself, and do you know that tomorrow, that is Saturday and Sunday, we are going to have a festival at the Central Library. So make sure that you come there, okay? I know you have a lot of you coming every day. Thank you for that. Thank you for the support. And yes, and if you come to the library, could I have the slide? There is a book, like, we are celebrating our 10th anniversary. Yay! 398.2 Festival is turning 10 this year. And to celebrate that, we have made a book. So come down to the library, come and buy the book, and you can also meet the authors there. You can get them to sign your books for you. And it's going to be sold on the 9th and 10th, that is tomorrow, and on Sunday. So come down and listen to some of the stories from there and play some games as well. Okay, we're going to leave it there for you to take a look. So this book has 10 stories in there, and they're written or they're selected by our storytellers from SAS.
We had requests for stories about tigers in one of the other sessions, and this book has stories about tigers. So
Oh yes,
definitely,
I
definitely
remember.
check it out.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
You can meet
to
the
all the
authors as
children.
well. Sorry, Anamika. Tell them about the authors, how they can meet everybody.
Yeah, like I said, they will be around at the festival. So if you get the book, go look for them. They will be telling stories at the same time. So you can catch them telling their stories. Not the same stories from the book, but you will be hearing stories from them.
I'm telling my story from the book
Oh,
tomorrow.
yes. Yes, Sheila is telling her story from the book. So Sheila is one of the authors. So you can see, have a look. You can recognize her there tomorrow. So you can hear her story. But the others will be there as well. So
Yeah, so to all the children watching today, you can tell mommy and daddy if you're free on Saturday and Sunday afternoons, can actually drop by the Central Public Library. So that's
Yes,
actually
from
located
1,
at
yeah,
Victoria
between
Street.
1 to 5. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so whoever's interested can also let us know in the chat if you'll be dropping by on Saturday and Sunday. It will be a wonderful time wrapping up the entire 398.2 Storytelling Festival.
Yes, you can unmute yourself and
You can unmute yourself and talk. And there's also one more link about the NLB early read ones. So you can probably share that and talk about that, Stella.
All right, so yes, last but not least, NLB Early Read also has their own link tree that has our programs, resources, and many more for young children. So we also have the collection link to other 398.2 Storytelling Festival sessions here too. So you can actually take a screenshot or just scan the QR code or even click the link on the chat to just really explore and see what we have to offer. Yeah, so with that, we hope that you have a great evening ahead. Thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you to all the storytellers for bringing us through this wonderful and captivating adventure. Thank you, everybody.
And thank you, NLB, for partnering with us. And thank you, Stella and Anamika. Take it away.
thank you, Asing. Thank you so much, Stella. And who's your partner today?
Nandini.
Nandini, thank you, thank you, thank you for being here. I know you had somewhere else to be. So thank you for spending the evening with us today. So hope to
Thank
see you
you. It's
all
been a
tomorrow.
Thank you, children.
Thank you,
Thank you. Thank
children.
you for coming.
Bye-bye.
Write to
Bye-bye.
us. Send us your feedback.
Yes. And
Thank you, Ida. Thank you for doing the feedback form. We really appreciate it. It's so good of you. We look
Bye.
forward to listening to your comments. Makes us very, very happy when we see what you've written. We like it. Bye-bye.
Thank you for
Maybe we can
joining
play
us.
the jingle while we're saying bye.
Oh,
yeah,
yes.
yeah,
We
you can
can.
start the jingle.
We can.
Thank you, everyone.
398.2, a happy place where you can find all sorts of stories for kids and adults too. With songs and chants and puppets, old stories seem brand new. Follow a little spell of the stories we tell, and you can join in as well. There's sure to be a story that feels just right for you. So
come along.
come along and join us at the 398.2. So come along and join us at the 398.2. So come along and join us at the 398.2.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. See you tomorrow.
398.2, a happy place where you can find all sorts of stories for kids and adults too. With songs and chants and puppets, old stories seem brand new.
Mm.
398.2, a happy place where you can find all sorts of stories for kids and adults too.
I think I put everyone in the wait.
Old
I'm going to
already.
stop the recording.
Thank you.